Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivara Dhari Jaya Girivara Dhari
Jaya
Gopi
Janavallabha Jaya Girivara Dhari Jaya Girivara Dhari
Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajanaranjana Jaya Vrajanaranjana
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajanaranjana Jaya Vrajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya
Jaya Radha
Radha
Madhava
Kunja
Jaya Kunja Bihari
Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava
Kunja
Jaya Kunja Bihari
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare 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 Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Hare, Yara Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya
Jai Gauranita, Gauranita,
Gauranitai,
Gauranta, Jaya Gauranita.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Jaya Jaya Guru Jaya Jaya Guru Guru
Jaya Jaya Guru
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Nitai Gaura
Hari Bo
Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Namo Vishvat Paramam Shakti Ashtota Shatak. His Divine Grace Abhay Chananda Bhakti Ram Krishna Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, Beauty Founder Acharya, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Das Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री राधा शिवा श्री श्री गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। श्री श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय। भक्त महारानी की जय। गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि All grace to Simuluris Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
All grace to Simuluris Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
All grace to Simuluris Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All grace to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All grace to Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam session today. So we're reading from Canto 5, the Creative Impetus, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabhdeva's teachings to his sons. And we are going to read today verse number 33. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes,
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 Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Thank you. So it's a prose verse. Obviously, there's no specific meter for this. So I'll just read it and then together we'll read the synonyms and the translation. So the verse is Tasyayaha yaha purisha surabhi sogandhaya vayus tam desham dasa yojanam samantat surabhim chakra. So the synonyms Tasya
Tasya
is
is
ha indeed
indeed
yaha
Yaha
which
which
purisha
Purisha
of the stool
of the stool
surabhihi
Surabhi
by the aroma
by the aroma
sogandhaya
Sogandhaya
possessing a good fragrance
possessing a good fragrance.
vayahu
Vayu
the air
the air
tam that
that
desham
Desam
country
country
dasa
Das
up to 10
up to 10
yojanam
Yojanam
yojanas
Yojanas.
1 yojana equals 80 miles.
One yojana equals 8 miles.
Samantat
Samantat
all around.
all around.
Surabhim
Surabhi
aromatic.
aromatic.
Chakra
Chakra
made. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Translation, read it together. Because Lord Rishabhdev
Because Lord Rishabhdev
remained in that condition,
remained in that condition,
the public did not disturb him.
the public did not disturb him.
But no bad aroma
but no bad aroma
emanated from his stool and urine.
emanated from his stool and urine.
Quite the contrary,
Quite the contrary,
his stool and urine
his stool and urine
were so aromatic
were so aromatic
that they filled
that they filled
80 miles of the countryside
80 miles of the countryside
with a pleasant fragrance.
with a pleasant fragrance.
The Bhaktivedanta purport. From this, we can certainly assume that Lord Rishabdev was transcendently blissful. His stool and urine were so completely different from material stool and urine that they were aromatic. Even in the material world, cow dung is accepted as purified and antiseptic. A person can keep stacks of cow dung in one place and it will not create a bad odor or to disturb anyone. We can take it for granted that in the spiritual world, stool and urine are also pleasantly scented. Indeed, the entire atmosphere became very pleasant due to Lord Rishabdev's stool and urine. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru
Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya
Shri Rupam
Rupam
Sagrajatam
Samajatam
Sagaranatam
Sagaranatanvitam Tam Sajivam
Advaitam
Sadvaitam
Sadvaitam
Savadhutam Parijana
Harikrishna
Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam
Shri Radha
Krishna
Krishna
Prabhadan
Sagadadita Shri
Sadandalita Shri Vishakan Vidansya
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Karuna
Karuna
Sindhu
Sindhu
Dinabandhu
Dinabandhu
Jagatpate
Jagatpate
Gopesha
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 Gopika
Gopika
Kanta
Radha
Radha
Kanta Namostute
Stuti
Sapta
Kanchana
Kanchana
Gaura
Gaurangi
Devi
Radhe
Vrindavaneshwari
Vrindavaneshwari
Vashvanusute Devi
Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye
Vancha
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai
Jai Shri
Shri
Krishna Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita Gadadhar
Gadadhar
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Vrinda
Vrinda
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Tavagathamrita
Amritam,
Tapta
Saptajivanam
Jivanam
Jivanam,
Kaviviristam
Abhividham,
Parvashapaham
Parvashapaham,
Shravanam
Shravanam Srimad-Bhagavatam
Srimad-Bhagavatam Bhruvi
Granate,
Granante Bhuridhajana
Bhuridhanam, Bhuridhante,
Bhuridhajana
Debhuridhanam.
Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai
Jai
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, today's verse from this fifth canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So obviously, like at a first glance, it uh, when you read this, it's a little bit like unusual. It speaks about obviously stool and urine of Rishabdev, um, and tells us that instead of producing bad odor or unpleasant smell, they produce such a wonderful fragrance that it's spread over 10 yojanas, so approximately 80 miles. So, like if someone is unfamiliar, like with what's like where we which section we are going through, and say like for the first time coming to this session for the first time, they might wonder that like why this scripture discussing something so ordinary and apparently kind of like impure, but this is kind of like this is precisely Srimad Bhagavatam this is where precisely actually Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam challenges our material conception of reality. Bhagavatam, if we see go through Bhagavatam is not simply giving us information about an extraordinarily historical personality. It is also teaching us how to see. You know, the there is a deeper question behind this verse, and the question obviously is not like anyone who come for the first time or anyone who doesn't understand the what Bhagavatam is trying to explaining here. The first question obviously will come that how can stool have pleasant fragrance, and there will be so many discussions and things like that. But the deeper question is that what happens when something becomes completely connected with the Supreme Lord? What happens then? And another question which is actually more relevant for us, for this assembly of practicing devotees, is um, after so many years of service, practicing Krishna consciousness, have our vision actually changed? Have we started to see things spiritually, or we are simply in the same position, like in a similar way, like the materialistic way, that we are just becoming more experienced in external aspect of our life, to be precise, our devotional life. So this is kind of the thing, when we just read the translation, it just say, oh, this is something talking about this. But what we need to understand here, that the question here is that why, as far as our vision is, the visions is changing, so that we are seeing more inwardly rather than externally, and we are putting more emphasis on the external aspects rather than the internal purification. So, looking in this purport, Srila Prabhupada explained in this purport that um, Lord Rishabdev was completely transcendental. His body was not a ordinary body, and therefore even what ordinary appears to be impure, that becomes completely different in his case. And if we see in this current material world, we automatically very soon we categorize things that, okay, these things are pure, these things are impure, these these are attractives, and these are inattractive things, this is this is respectable things, these are disrespectful things. These we judge people, we judge people based on the places and situation, and also based on the external characteristics. But through this specific section of the teaching of Rishabdev, it is repeatedly is getting explained here to us that Supreme Lord and Supreme Personality of Godhead, and those who are completely absorbed in the service of Supreme Lord, cannot be understood through ordinary material vision. So it is just not possible that through ordinary mindset, ordinary degree, ordinary intelligence, it is not possible to understand. The Because the way we are conditioned, the way we have been taught, we are only taught through our school, colleges, and everywhere to put all the emphasis on external features. Whereas the spiritual vision sees the connection with Krishna, which is the internal feature. So that's why this is one of the most important lesson, specifically for devotees who have been practicing Krishna consciousness for many years. You know, we can all kind of relate that in the beginning, if you remember, of this journey, um, our challenges, were usually the material attachment. We were trying to give up bad habits. Like, the first thing, when someone, like, becomes serious in Krishna consciousness, so start chanting, and then we encourage them, okay, if you can have, can get rid of these uh, four vices if possible. So we try to give up the habits, try to control the senses. We're like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like, no, I'm attracted to this, I'm attracted to that. So no, rather than we regulate our lives, and we focus on developing a taste for hearing and chanting. That's what we focus mainly at the beginning of the journey. But as we become more experienced, as we were going through this journey, um, the danger remains, the danger still remains, but it becomes a little bit subtle. We may not, we may no longer get attracted towards the gross things, which is, which we wanted to not to go near when we were at the beginning. So we develop that practice in us, that we no longer get attracted by the gross things, but we can be very attracted to our own opinion. you know we can be, there are possibility that we can get attracted more towards our position, our reputation, and our way of seeing things, our way of, judging things. We get very attracted because we think this is the way, because my way. Usually this thing comes, we try to see ourselves superior than all the other these people we see. Usually devotees, this kind of things gets developed, because when we are doing all these things and we feel, okay, I'm doing the four regulative principle, I don't have any I'm trying to keep myself from all bad habits, like I'm not doing any, like you know any
Line,
idiotic things and things like that. So a kind of superiority kind of thing crept up in our heart. So then what we try to then we start to do, we start to judge others, see how our life is so pure. I'm doing this, I'm going to Mangala, I'm doing service, I'm clean, I'm trying to keep all these things and stuff, and look at these people, they are so dirty and things like that. But that's also very dangerous, because what's happening in that case, that externally we may become advanced, where internally we are becoming more and more judgmental. We went through the philosophy. We say, okay, now I'm doing that, I'm doing this study, I'm doing this bhakti shastri, I'm doing this bhakti, all the courses that I'm doing. We know the verse, we know the procedures, the rules and regulation, and perhaps, we have served so many years, but still we are looking at people through the material vision. So that's why what happened, that when we, there are they were this is the thing, that when we evaluate that, why, if we want to have a spiritual society, why this problem exists in spiritual society, these are the roots of the problem, why the problems occurs. That we we can unconsciously, without being mindful of it, evaluate a devotee according to that devotee's intelligence or education, communication skill, social position, financial position, management ability, everything, that we started to judge a devotee, which is again a very wrong thing. This is completely opposite to what Bhagavatam is teaching us, because Bhagavatam is constantly asking us to look deeper, to focus on that specific devotee's relationship with Krishna, rather than their, to look at them and evaluate them based on their externalities, rather than try to focus on the internal features. And this is, we see the examples in our shastras, that in especially in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he first met with like when actually Sanatan Goswami first came to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanatan Goswami came from a very like affluent background. He had a very big post in the assembly of the Muslim leader, and he was like he had sold all the opulence, everything that he had, you know, but he left everything. He left his influential position in the government, and he left everything, and he came to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know. And as he left everything, his externalities becomes like really like his clothes become dirty. He developed some sores on his body because he was just not taking care of himself. He was just thinking, okay, when I'm going to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know. And then when he found out that okay, this is the place that I'm going to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he felt that his physical condition was unfit because he was dirty, and he was thinking, oh, I'm impure, sorry, my dress is not clean, I'm contaminated. But when Mahaprabhu saw him, he just embraced him, you know. Sanatan Goswami was just trying to like avoid that Lord, please don't touch me, I'm not clean. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept embracing him, you know, because the Lord didn't see the externalities of Sanatan Goswami's position or his condition, you know. He was seeing his heart, that how much love he has. He surrendered everything. He said, like he basically he gave away everything and he surrendered, and his service is so pure, because this is completely a different way of seeing a person. When we, and from the materialistic point of view, materialistic vision is, what does first thing first, like I think in Hindi you probably have heard, pehle pehle darshan dhari, piche gun bichari, right? Like how first the look happened, you know. Yes, from some aspect, based on time, place and circumstances, it also have its merit. But when we are dealing with a devotee, we have to be mindful that okay, is that vision, the what that person looks like, is that the main criteria? No, because what Bhagavatam is teaching us is, look at a person and see what that person's relationship with Krishna. And then, because when we look at that what is the relationship with someone's relationship with Krishna, there is no point of judging there. Because then what, like I'm going to judge that person? No, I can't. And then what, I'm going to judge Krishna? That we can't do. And then straight away it struck us that no, this is a wrong way of looking at things. So we shouldn't have our vision based on that looking at the external features. This even becomes like as we discuss about Sanatan Goswami, this even becomes more striking in the case of Haridas Thakur, our Namacharya. Haridas Thakur obviously was born in a Muslim family, and then he always can consider himself impure. You know, he always tried to keep himself outside. He focused only on the holy name, and we know that he got beaten in 22 marketplaces, and and he was rejected. He was prosecuted, like all kind of defaming that possible happened to Haridas Thakur. Like he has been taken out of the society, thrown out of the society, whatever, like got beaten, everything. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw completely different thing in him when he see him. Like Mahaprabhu straightway recognized Haridas Thakur, and he made Haridas Thakur as Namacharya. Every day morning when we chant and we say, okay, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai, the teacher of the holy name. Can you imagine? The holy name coming from the Lord who gave the holy name. He's saying, no, you are the teacher of the holy name. You teach everyone how to chant. And this is where, like we see the wonderful, the Lord is teaching us. This is the vision of a Vaishnava. The world may see someone according to, again, the social designation, which, from where, which background they have came from. But for a devotee, by reading these pastimes and taking the teaching from there, a devotee learns to see the spiritual identity beyond all this designation. All the designation doesn't matter. The only thing matter is the spiritual identity, is Krishna's, how is the relationship with Krishna. If that person is coming and trying to do even a little thing for Krishna, we appreciate that. This is something really, really wonderful. And we see, like, more and more example where the Lord just focused on the internal things. Is more example in past time in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jagai Madhai, you know. And this is we see for Nityananda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was merciful. Nityananda Prabhu was like even like thousand, like, his mercy was like even no beyond. He like Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, both they were went for Harinam, and then they were saying that they knew that how this Jagai Madha is. And on the first day, what happened when they were going near them and try to chant, they actually ran after them the first day. And Haridas Thakur was imagine Haridas Thakur, he is a Namacharya. He was saying, "Oh, Nityananda Prabhu, like you are a mad person. Why you are going near them? Like, they are, like, what they can do to you." And Nityananda Prabhu said, "No, don't worry. Like, they don't understand what they are doing. They are innocent." Nityananda Prabhu is saying that they are innocent. So I want to go and preach to them. So next day again, Nityananda Prabhu went to them, and we all know what happened. That they hit Nityananda Prabhu, and then Nityananda Prabhu, like, he started to bleed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu straightway came and called for Sudarshan, and Nityananda Prabhu prayed with folded hands and said, "In this age, if you want to kill, you have to kill everyone, because everyone is degraded. There is no way that we can save anyone in this age. So the only way we can transform someone's heart can be transformed in this age is through love, because there is no other way, and someone's heart can be transformed." So see again, Lord Chaitanya then saw Nityananda Prabhu's mood. He became so happy. He said, "Yes, this is what is the heart of devotee is." And mind you, this is something Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna came to experience this, you know, because he was not understanding that why these gopis has so much love for me. He couldn't understand, but then he wanted to come, and that's what he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he also heard that and started to experience that from Nityananda Prabhu, his heart become melted. He then, like, embraced both Jagai and Madhai. They were like so embarrassed. They say, "Okay, we have done this, and still the Lord is, like, embracing us." Because this is again the, like, this is very important lesson for us, because um, sometimes we become, like, experts in finding faults in others. It's like, this is the one of the thing in Kali Yuga. Like, it's people will not probably easily recognize someone as sadhu, but they will see someone and they say, "Oh, this person is not a sadhu. This is a rascal. This is a bhanda." The word used in Chaitamrita many times. Bhanda means who is a pretender. So we try to identify, like, we are expert in identifying faults. We can exactly remember that what somebody did 5 years ago, exactly how they spoke to us, how they, like, made a mistake, and exactly why we believe that they are not spiritually advanced. Like, point by point, everything in my head. But the Vaishnavas, when they see, they not only see that where that person, the Vaishnava sees that not only where a person is in here today, he sees that what that person can become through Krishna, through the mercy of Krishna and the association of devotees. And this is where we see that the our savior Srila Prabhupada, his example, his pastime, that all these like, hippies, they were drunk. They were like, most of them, like, one of the, in Srila Prabhupada's time, one of his disciple, he got arrested. And so few disciples came to, like, few of the, like, Srila Prabhupada, obviously at that point of time very new, they were calling Swamiji, and they come to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he got arrested, we need to help him. Srila Prabhupada said, "Yeah, yeah, let's go, we will help." And then they went to the police station, and the police gave him a list, that okay, these are the list of drugs. Which of them you have used? And he ticked everything. He said, okay, I have used this, everything. And also, he also wrote a couple of them extra which were not in the list. See, like, but then that person, Srila Prabhupada, then they took him out of the from there, came back, and like, start practicing Krishna consciousness, and completely transformed. So that is the vision of Vaishnava, just not saying that what is the current condition of this person, but always have that hope and faith that okay, if this person goes through the process of Krishna consciousness and through the association of the devotees, what magic can happen in their life. So that's why, like, Srila Prabhupada very expertly, like, when he did that, he never ever, like, at any point, he just saw that okay, this is a problem, or this person is doing this. Although he was a sannyasi, he was perfectly was doing all the required things that needs to be done for a sannyasi, but he couldn't maintain all those things because of the externalities. But that didn't bother him, because he knew that what he's trying to achieve here. Prabhupada repeatedly emphasized that the problem is not the material, that we are surrounded by material things. That is not the problem. We are in the material world. We chose to came down, and that is our choice. So we are surrounded by material things. That is not the point. The fundamental problem is that we have forgotten Krishna. So that's the main issue. The same, this say, for this laptop can be used for mundane entertainment, or at the same time it can be used as glorifying Krishna, as through this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam session we are trying to do. The same, like, the same thing, the same material thing, like, say, for example, say, for kitchen can be satisfied to used to satisfy our own tongue, or to prepare bhoga for the Lord. It's the same way the money can be used for personal enjoyment or for devotional service. And to be, like, at the top, the intelligence for all these things that we do, the same intelligence can be used for increasing our prestige, increasing our fame, and then to fan our false ego, or at the same time that intelligence can be used to serve the Vaishnavas. The external objects, everything remain the same. We make this mistake all the time. We just keep, like, blaming all the external things. The external things are not the problem. you know the external object, is they remain the same. It's just its purpose and our consciousness. If our consciousness transform, then it can be used for anything. And this is the practical application of the philosophy of yukta vairagya, you know that is taught by all the acharyas, that rather than simply rejecting everything, that okay, this is something that I want to, this is bad thing, I want to reject. Yeah, as from the rules and regulations, from the regulative perspective, yes, that makes sense. But the thing is, we can't have only all the time in our head that okay, reject. No, it's not going to happen. The thing is, the way our mind, our intelligence built is, we we have to connect everything with Krishna. We can't just simply saying that okay, we just reject all these things and just sit down idle, and then purification happen. No, take everything which is like, nearby, um, and then try to engage them, try to connect them with Krishna. And also that depends on our own capability, on our own intelligence, and also depends on time, place, and circumstances. And this is also for different, one person can do one thing, like how what Srila Prabhupada did. We will not be able to do it, but we can try in our own way. And Krishna, that's why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita confirms that tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam Dadami buddhi yogena tam yena mam upayantite. So whoever worship me with love and devotion, you know, I give them intelligence so that they can come back to me. So that's why it depends on that level of surrender. That's what it depends on that level of sincerity that we are surrendering ourselves to Krishna. And then that intelligence comes. And through that intelligence, we can connect. Whatever we are in middle of, we can connect everything to Krishna. And that is the perfect example of Yukta Vairagya. So that's why this concept becomes particularly very profound when we understand the absolute nature of Krishna. That Chaitanya Charitamrita explained that Krishna is absolute truth. You know, Advaiva Jnana Tatta. So in the material world, a name and an object represent by that name are different, but Krishna and Krishna's name, they are same. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, qualities, pastime, service, everything, like, they're same. Therefore, we chant the holy name of the Lord and associate, and then we try to associate with which sincerely, and that's how we associate with Krishna. We can worship the deity and actually serve Krishna through the deity form. We can honor Mahaprasadam, like, and understand that it's actually not a ordinary something ordinary that we have tasted before. We can take the dust on from the lotus feet of the senior devotees, and we can feel that the spiritual significance there. So the entire principle is that connection with Krishna changes our understanding of what we are experiencing. So it's very important. But saying that, there is also a danger that we have to be mindful of. Um, we should not misunderstand this philosophy and think that because everything can be connected with Krishna, therefore everything is automatically spiritual for us. You know, that we can take the holy name and everything becomes then okay. Like, I can do everything. The important thing is that transformation requires consciousness and proper connection. You know, so simply just if we just say that okay, I can take the holy name and then everything will be pure, right? Yes, but that doesn't mean that I can then get involved into anything, and I can be, and because I'm taking holy name, that's why everything is becoming pure. This is one of the nama parad, like, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. And today in the morning when we were reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we read that from Chaitanya Charitamrita, this one devotee from the Chaitanya Lila. His name was Kalidas. He was an advanced devotee, but what he was doing, he was taking the dice and he was playing gambling. He was doing gambling, but at the same time he was chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that we shouldn't follow this. A person can be in a different level. You know, so devotees like Rishabh Dev, Nityananda Prabhu, they are in a different level. What happened in their cases? It's not that we simply just imitate that. Rather than we can take inspiration. So otherwise, what happened? The holy name, we can commit sin on the strength of the holy name, and that is also a nama parada. So we have to be very careful with this. So that's why this in this section, Lord Rishabh Dev is the teaching from Lord, like how we need to be careful with all these things. Lord Rishabh Dev's teaching to from like to his son, they are very deep. He is saying that the human life is not only meant for increasing material enjoyment. We should use the human intelligence to achieve this spiritual advancement. And but also we see that if we don't remain careful, then we also see what happened with Bharat Maharaj, because we will be coming to that section after this, that Bharat Maharaj, he was also, he detached everything, like he renounced everything, and he went to the jungle. But then what happened, he just attached with a small deer, and he couldn't think anything other than that small deer. He didn't it's important to understand this, he didn't fail for any gross sense gratification, his problem was very subtle, and that was attachment. So sometimes we think, okay, sin means it's just only the, like, getting into, indulge into the bad habits and things like that. But sometimes having attachment with something, very deep attachment, that's also creates problem. So that is also a very sobering lesson for all of us. Spiritual advancement is not simply measured by what someone has given up. It's measured by what still controls the heart. A person can give up all the good, like, all the, or can give up bad habits, but then that person can develop a superiority complex, that, look, I have now come out of all the bad habits, and all of you are having this bad habit, so I am superior. That is also a very bad danger. you Another person, like, we can see that they might give a family life, but then become very attached with recognition, that, look, I have done this big thing, I have taken sannyas, I have taken this. So, but then that the heart is asking for recognition. Another way that we can give up material enjoyment, but uh, then we get attached of getting this fame of, okay, now you are an advanced devotee because you are not doing this. Someone get attached with, okay, someone can give a wonderful class, very very good orator, where, like, all the nice verses and everything, they can they present it in such a way that people think, oh, that is something. But in the heart of that person who is narrating, they want, okay, I want to have this following with me. So whenever I go somewhere, people go behind me and said, ah, this is wonderful, this is wonderful. So that is also another danger, that I'm doing this, yes, I'm doing this service, but there is an attachment there. So this is also in the spiritual life, these dangers are there, and they are more dangerous because they are more subtle. This receiving recognition is one of the ways that creates fall down for so many, like in the from the history also, we see that caused the fall down for so many of the devotees. But this is the real danger. So that's why we just have to be we have to be really really um, mindful, and always praying to Krishna that this danger, like, please guide us through this danger. Because if we stay, if, like, whatever we try to do, these dangers will always be there. And that is the reason that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time and again mentioned that the humility is so important. Trinadapi sunichena tarureva sahishnana amanena manedena kirtaniya sadahari. It's very important. We often quote this verse when discussing chanting, right? But this is also very important when we are having, like, when we also, this also we should apply it in every aspect, our relationship with devotees, our, like, executing service. Every time this verse needs to be at the forefront of our mind, that can I respect someone if that person is not doing the thing that I want them to do? Can i can i appreciate someone who is a different kind of personality? Like, I don't like that kind of personality, but I still need to appreciate that person. Can I honor someone whose strengths are different than mine? Like, I don't have those strengths, but that person have those strengths. So can I honor that person? Can I tolerate someone? It's this is one of the main thing from this verse, that from the Trinadapi Sunichena verse is, can I tolerate someone who does not appreciate me? Like one time in this in one of the chanting workshop, the facilitator asked us that after each round of chanting, you just pray, that okay, these are the 5%, and all of us have them, so we don't lie. These are the 5% that we don't like, but what you do, think about them and just pray to Krishna that Krishna, please bless them, please do all the good things that they want, for please do everything so that spiritual life becomes successful. Just pray that. So every round of chanting you do, and you see the change. That next time when you look at that, because sometimes when we don't look at, when we don't like a person, and if we look at that person, sometimes it's very hard to even, see eye to eye, because I don't like that person. But when we pray like that, that okay, I pray that okay, please Krishna, like help that person, like give all the necessary things for the successful spiritual life for that person. So next time when you see that person, you'll see that there's something change. You are not like uncomfortable anymore. You can go, you can approach them, you can talk with them, at least you can say Hare Krishna to them. Things change. And seriously, yes, but the thing is, there are layers of conditioning, so it doesn't happen in one day. But if someone sincerely try to practice this, then it happens. And this is why it's a Krishna consciousness is a science. It's a applied knowledge, it's not only knowledge. So all those things that, this person is my enemy, somebody disagree with us, all these things, the person doesn't understand me, or this person is not like advanced enough to understand this, that they don't deserve it, all these things, they all goes away when we focus on this, on when we focus on internalizing all those energies, so that we are thinking that okay, rather than having all this negative thought, let's try to focus on a good things. And this is where this verse becomes very personal, that Lord, the Lord Rishabdev's stool, as you said, that producing the fragrance of over 80 miles, the natural material response will be to think that this is impossible, obviously, but Bhagavatam telling us that the material laws we are familiar with cannot be the same to use for the measure of the Supreme Lord. Though for Supreme Lord, it can be so from Rishabdev, from Nityananda Prabhu, from Pundarik Vidyanidhi. They are exalted devotees. We can't measure all the things that they were doing by the materialistic things. So a devotee, that's why it's very important to understand that when someone get connected with Krishna, everything becomes so purified for them that it's not only these externalities that like the stools and urines that, but everything to them. Even one person who we don't like that person at all, but if they are connected with Krishna, then they are getting purified. And we have to have this faith that yes, they are getting purified. So let not judge them. Let try to help. Let try to be, at least do my part is to go to them and at least help them in whatever way I can. And that's why we and this is the vision that needs, it's required for us to proceed in our spiritual life. And Srila Prabhupada himself demonstrated this vision. When he came to the West, like all these people, as we discussed. So, but he saw these are all future servant of Krishna, and he invested his time, his energy on them. He gave them the holy name, the prasadam, philosophy, everything. And see how the spiritual movement has just become bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why the very practical way that we can apply from this verse, and with that we can conclude that during next week, whenever we say interacting with devotees, let us deliberately ask one question, that what is Krishna doing through this person? So instead of immediately asking that what is wrong with this person? Next 2 weeks we have two, big festivals and things like that. We are all engaged in different service, and we will be engaged with different devotees, right? So let's try to do this exercise, that instead of immediately asking that what is wrong with this person which will come, or what service is this person offering, instead of thinking like that we can thinking that why doesn't and also, like, why doesn't this devotee do the things that I'm asking that devotee to do? Rather than that, let's, if we can think that how can I appreciate this person's relationship with Krishna. This person is here in the temple, at least came here for doing something, so how can I appreciate it? This doesn't, but again, this doesn't mean that if there are some genuine problems or something, we don't address them or we become sentimental. No, the mature spiritual vision does not mean blindness. So we have, that needs to be, clarified. It is not blindness to the reality. It means that seeing reality, but it in relation to Krishna. So that's why, let us pray that to Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that please bless us so that we can have that vision. Let us pray that after all these years, our devotional life simply doesn't become a collection of practices or what you can say, like, or knowledge or responsibilities, but it actually helps in transforming hearts. Because when Krishna becomes the center thing, we see everything in relation to Krishna. And then all the materialistic things, all the things that we think, oh, these are impure, this is bad, this is that, everything gets purified. So on that note, I would like to end here. It's 2 minutes past 8:30. But if anyone wants to share a quick thing or a quick point, please go ahead, and then we'll conclude the session today. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you very much
Hare
for
Krishna,
the
please.
class. For us to learn so much from this verse. And this verse actually really tells us that we cannot understand Krishna. Lord Rishabdev is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the mentioned word Lord Rishabdev is actually telling us the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that everything which he has got is transcendental. And to understand Krishna, we have to practice bhakti yoga. And if we don't, then we can compare that how can Rishwadev have something like urine and stools and all aroma and everything. So that we can actually interpret these things. But Prabhupada has so nicely said that cow dung is so auspicious, and people use that for as a fuel, and in the house also the huts are made and they smear all those things. So Prabhupada specially said, if a cow, which is an animal, if a cow can have all these properties, so nice, then why Supreme Personality of Godhead can't have these things? So this is for us to learn, that Supreme Personality of God is transcendental. Everything he has got is transcendental. But how we can understand? In Bhagavad Gita says, Janam karma chame devam evam yo veti tattvada tyakta deham purna jarma na veti se Arjuna. So he's saying that, we can only know it. And if we know it, which is very rare, then we can actually will not take birth again. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Such a
Thank you.
nice class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all for joining today. And also a humble reminder. So today evening in the temple, we have the very blessed occasion of the Vyasa Puja of His Holiness Vedavyas Priya Swami Maharaj. So please all come and join this festivity at the evening at the temple. Thank you all for joining today. Vancha kalpataruvasya kipasindhuvascha.
कृपासिन्धुदेव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः।
नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर वंदे हरि हरि बोल।
His Grace Somendra Das Prabhuji ki jai.
जय
Samveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Right.
Hari
Thank
Bol.
you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Somebody has to close the session, isn't it? Hare Krishna. It didn't do that.